how people can learn and how they can
This
live
is
and what kind of
pre-Brady
people they can
Bunch.
be. And then re-examining our own notions, widening them,
Still
so
present.
that we have far greater sense of what people might do, could do. Then we can go ahead and make changes that are constant with our own society and with our own ideals.
Now, you mentioned about people sometimes being culture-bound, such as believing that their own society is the best, has the best ideology, way of life, and all. Now, how do you cope with that sort of problem, particularly with Americans who feel that very often feel that they have the best society in the whole world?
You're really smart,
lady. Because Americans are particularly likely to have this point of view because we're made up of people who left other countries because they thought America was going to be better. And when they got here, were pretty busy showing their cousins they left behind how much better it was, so that we gradually built up a picture of the best of all possible worlds. And we've been extraordinarily fortunate, too, because
she made even one good point.
With vast resources on which we could build new ways of life, unfettered by the past. But of course, in doing it, we've ended up with this pretty narrow notion.
Pretty good.
So that one of the most useful things that anthropology can do, especially for Americans, and there's some other countries that need quite a lot of it too, Great Britain,
all those photographs.
Scandinavian countries, all of them. They're fortunate countries that have fared very well in recent history and tend to feel that they have the best solutions in the world. They can all profit.
Feels like
by a knowledge of the contrasts between themselves and other societies, and realizing that their culture is, comparatively speaking, very recent, very special, and only one version of the way in which human beings can do things.
This brings us back again to the concept of culture balance. Say, for example, the kind of misconceptions that can arise when we apply our concept or idea of what the marriage pattern for a society should be, such as in our society, it's monogamy, to a group who allow promiscuous sexual relationships. And then we say that they are bad while we are right.
I know. Well, this has several variations. The notion that savages, of course, do things differently from the way we do. The notion that we're superior, monogamy is superior and we're superior, and therefore the people that we put on a lower scale couldn't possibly behave the way we do. And then a lot of odd beliefs in the 19th century about evolution. You see, that put us at the top of the scale. So whatever we were had to be farthest away from what the most primitive man was. So they invented something called group marriage, which you never found anywhere. And then you went from group marriage to mother right. Nobody knew who the father was. And then finally up to polygamy, and then to monogamy, this flower of civilization that we have. Now this is mainly, we think today, a myth. That monogamy is the fundamental form of pair relations in the human species. It takes a lot of money to have polygamy, and this is just a way of looking after widows. Polygamy has never been very widespread for the whole of the population. You can have a king with 1,000 wives, or you can have a chief with 200 wives, or you can have the 2 or 3 strongest men in the village that maybe have 6 or 7 wives. But the basic form of marriage right around the world.
See, that's a Satan in the background.
And some people, of course, have the kind of monogamy that you can remarry again, especially widows. Most sexual morality, of course, is based on what you make women do, not on what you make men do. And the more uncomfortable we make the women, the more moral we feel we are. Now, we have today what can be technically called brittle or serial monogamy. Because the minute you permit divorce, of course, people may all be monogamous at any one moment, but they're not married to the same person. And today, except for those religious groups that don't permit remarriage,
there you have it. Margaret Mead
we are moving towards something that is a good deal like
or incompetent.
Many very primitive people. A fair degree of freedom of choice and a fair degree of freedom of divorce if a particular marriage doesn't work out.
What I want.
The point you made about the more we make women uncomfortable, the more moral we are is both amusing and true.